What is up, guys? We are back with another video here. Co-host Logan Collins. We got the other co-host, Adrian Sosa. Say what's up, Sosa.
What's going on, guys?
So we've been noticing our views were popping. Video 1, video 2. They've been decreasing slowly. So it would mean a lot for us if you could like, comment, and subscribe. Share these videos so we can promote this account, promote the YouTube channel, and make just better videos for you guys, get better guests on. So week in advance, we got, the NBA playoffs starting tomorrow. This video will be posted right before it starts, though. This is the night before for us. We got 2 guests that are going to be posted this week that we previously recorded for you guys on Wednesday and Friday. And then, so what you got to say? Anything about just this quick talk in general before we get into the video?
Nah, NBA playoffs. I'm ready.
All right. So this video is going to be NBA playoff bracket. We're going to go over our predictions for the first round, second round, third round, and finals. Just the team, how many games, and we'll see, if our NBA experts right here, me and Sos, how we end up doing. Let's get right into it. Max, our media manager, will be posting the bracket right here, and let's run it. So first game, we'll start with the East. We got Bucks, Magic. This one's easy. I don't got nothing to say. Bucks in 4. Sweep. Let's get the brooms. We out. What you got, Silks?
Easy. Bucks in
Easy.
4. Bucks in 4.
Easy.
Nothing else to say.
They could send them home right now. I mean, they're in Orlando already. Just go home to the crib. Peace. You know what I'm saying? But,
I'm with you.
Facts. All right. Next game after that, we got the Pacers at the 4 seed. They beat the Heat in that last game, but they ain't really the 4 seed. Heat 5 seed. I'm a Heat fan. Bias, no bias. I got Heat in 6 because I think in one of the games we'll just get blown out. There's just some Heat stuff to do. In another game, we'll start slow shooting the ball. We'll have a good opportunity to make some shots. We'll start slow shooting. Kelly O chucking 10 shots in the first quarter, make like 2 of them, and then we'll slowly come back, but we will fall short. We should beat them in like 4 or 5, but we'll beat them in 6. Moving on to the next round. What you got, so Heat Pacers?
Man, I'm with you. I got the Heat in 6. I was leaning towards going 7 games in this series, but
Damn.
It's a competitive series. It's been competitive, and the Heat dominated. Not the last game, obviously they sat out their players, but the game before that, when Jimmy and TJ Warren both played, it was a good game, but the Heat pretty much was in cruise control second half. So I got Heat in 6.
Sounds good. All right, so we're moving down to the bottom part of the East bracket. We got the Raptors, and we got the Nets. I'm going Raptors in 5. Like I said, you give each player on the Raptors a mil, they're going all out every single game. They're going to sweep them. There's no incentive. They're going to somehow the Nets will get 1 win, I think. They're just a tough team. Just Karis LeVert will somehow just pull out 1. I got Raptors in 5.
I'm going to go same with you, but I'm going to go Raptors in 6. I think this series is going to be a little bit more competitive than people think. The Nets, they're like a poor man's version of the Raptors. They play team basketball. They move it around. They do have, a go-to guy who could get a bucket at any time, but they really play team basketball. So these are 2 teams that they play the same style. I got Raptors in 6, but I think it's going to be a very competitive series.
I like that. I call him Max Kellerman, guys, because he just tries to be like I'm a little. Anyway, but about that series, just real quick, I think it's an unpopular opinion personally. If KD and Kyrie, they got their full team, I know they haven't been healthy, but just hypothetically, they entered the bubble, I think they win the East easy. Not even close. I think they easily beat the Raptors. I think they easily beat the next 2 teams. And I think they they beat the Bucks. I don't know if they would beat whoever I'm going to choose. We'll see later in the video from the West. But I think they're good. They're running the East unless Giannis moves from Milwaukee. That's my opinion. I think KD, Kyrie, just DeAndre Jordan. They got good role players. Anyways, we'll go back to the or you want to comment on that, or you want me to continue?
Man, that's a whole show in itself. The Nets, those dynamics, okay. KD and Kyrie. We got to see how they mesh together. I mean, I know on
both
paper,
buckets.
paper they look really, really good. they're searching for a new head coach. They could go with Jason Kidd, Ty Lue, Fizz. I mean, they got options, but I wouldn't crown them just champs of the East yet. I mean, Kyrie has to show me that he can lead a team, and I'm interested to see how that dynamic with KD and Kyrie is going to work out.
Okay. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I agree with you. Last series in the East, we got Sixers, we got Celtics, no Ben Simmons, of course. I think I'd make it a much tougher series. Possibly the Sixers could even win. Maybe definitely take it to 7. But I'm gonna go Celtics in 5. I think Sixers win 1, maybe even 2. I'm not confident about what I just said, but I'm gonna say Celtics in 5. I think it's just too much. They're just too good. They need more scoring. They need more offensive flow. I don't think they're gonna run enough. I don't think running through Embiid is enough to win. They have Horford and Embiid, but I just don't think they have enough offense at the end of the day to keep out with Brown, Tatum, Kemba.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I thought you were about to choose the Celtics in 6, and I was going to surprise you and go Celtics in 5. But it looks like we're on the same page here. Philly was my sleeper team coming out of the East, fully
Easily.
healthy. They're not healthy. They don't have the chemistry. Of course, you don't have Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. He came back a little quicker than I thought from his ankle injury, but I just don't think fully healthy as Boston is right now. Kemba has no restrictions. I think they limited his minutes very well in the bubble thus far. So I see the Celtics in 5. Honestly, I could see it being a very non-competitive series.
I got one question before we move to the West.
Because that
one
was
question. Oh, okay. One question before we move to the West. All right. So let's say we're back. Tomorrow's Monday. Let's say the last 2 games of the seeding games, they sat Wednesday and Friday. I can't think of a player that has. I'm sure someone has. Jimmy, LeBron, someone. And their last game wasn't, a week from today. I mean, a week of rest is a little – could they come rusty? These teams that rested their players, that even if they sat just Friday, that means the last game they played was Wednesday. They were off for 5 days. That doesn't happen in the NBA. Does it affect any team, or just it is what it is? They got their rest and they're going to –
No, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I think teams are still kind of playing themselves back into shape right now. I don't really think there's too many teams that are hitting on all cylinders yet. So even in the first couple of games, I think they're still going through the process of getting back to where they were pre-COVID.
For sure. All right, we'll move to the West. Started off Lakers, Blazers. My favorite series of any series in the first round, not only because I love Braun, but we got the killer himself, Dame, probably the best point guard in the league right now. He's really, really up there, with Steph, even though he didn't play the season. I mean, he's grown on me big time. He's my favorite point guard, one of my favorite players in the league, just pulling up from the logo. When he needs 40, 50, 60, he's going to go get you that. Not to mention, Melo's been stepping up with 20. McCollum's been putting up around 28, 30. Nurkic has been playing big. Whiteside and Zach Collins haven't been doing much, but you got Gary Trent. I mean, this Blazers team is scary. But at the end of the day, you got someone on the other team named LeBron. And he's just too good. Like, he'll do what he wants to do. And if he wants to sweep them, like I said, he'll sweep them. But he doesn't need to. So I think he's going to pull back on the gas pedal a little bit. Him and AD will win this series. I'm gonna go 6, but I would not be surprised one bit if they win in 5. They're up 3-1, they just close it out. But if they're up 2-2, if it's like 2-2, which I don't even see happening, maybe they win in 6. But I'm gonna go 6. I think 6.
I got Lakers in 5. The one thing I would say that Portland has in their favor right now is every game since the bubble started has been a playoff game for them. They've had to win every single game, just about, and they've been in this do or die, win or go home mentality. So I think they're at a higher level compared to where the Lakers want to be. But with that being said, the Lakers are a 1 seed for a reason. They got 2 of the best 3 or 4 players in NBA. And when you look at their roster, I mean, they got size. They
The
got
Blazers got bodies to throw, though. I'm just
they
saying.
do. No, they do. And you know, they got a lot of bigs, but at the end of the day, I just think the Lakers are too much. And honestly, I think this run of just every single game is a must win for them. I think it's going to wear them down some.
I
Uh,
actually agree. I'm gonna switch my prediction. You made
nah,
some good
you
points.
said
Nah, nah.
you said Lakers in
I
six.
got 5.
I got Lakers in five.
You could hold me to it at 6, but after that point, I agree with you. I'm gonna give you props. I agree with your point. I'm copying your prediction. If that's what you want, credit Sosa. But I got 5. I agree with what you're saying. You know, they're gonna be worn down. Moving on. 4-5 in that
Oh,
region is Sosa's
this is my
sleeper
team. Let's
team
go.
of any team in the NBA. They're the Oklahoma City Thunder. He didn't know one player on the team besides Chris Paul before the year started, but now he knows them. So it's fine to hop on the bandwagon. So it's okay. You know, you can admit it on the podcast right here. But anyways, you got Rockets, you got Thunder. Now, if I'm gonna go based off what I know, Russ is gonna be out a couple games in the beginning. If he comes back by game 3 healthy, I got Rockets in 7. However, I think it would be hilarious if Chris Paul, and would not mind it either, beats the Thunder because Russ left OKC, not really his choice, because he could not beat Houston, and now he's playing his old team. It would be funny if Chris Paul took this team who was supposed to be the 3rd pick in the NBA draft this year, literally 3rd. They're in the playoffs. They beat the Rockets. That'd be pretty funny, but I'm going to go Rockets at 7, if healthy. If healthy. You
No,
got it, Sos.
come on. You can't say if healthy. You got to deal with what you got, man. I got OKC. I want to go out and say in 6, but I'm not going to say 6. I'm going to say OKC in 7. I'll
Okay.
tell you why. 1, Russell Westbrook, he is hurt. He's banged up. His quad, that's one of those injuries where you like to think it's 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 days, but you can re-injure that very easily. And the way he plays, he only knows how to play one speed, and that's full speed.
Just to
So
touch on that real quick, for people who don't play basketball, like Sosa just said, you know, it might just be, just a sprained ankle or just, just pulled his, hamstring, whatever. With a guy like Russ, if you're a big guy, you're not as explosive as he is. That takes so much away from his game. Just,
that's
that pain or whatever he's feeling in that area, that's his game. Being
he's
explosive, pushing the floor, going crazy, just acrobatic dunks, driving hard, slashing, and 1 layups. That's his game. So just any type of injury to the lower body for him is going to affect his play. Just like, if you got a shooter like Danny Green, if he has a sprained thumb, it's going to affect his shot. But specifically for Russ, this, it's not, you can't call him, he's being a baby. I mean, if you play, So,
yeah. So let me get back to my points. I got a lot of points here. So
okay.
one, you got to look at the injury to Russell Westbrook. We don't know how healthy he's going to be. It wouldn't surprise me if he came back in game 2 and he's ready to go. He sat out the last couple of games, so like you just said, he was getting treatment around the clock for the last week. But they have ruled him out for at least 1, maybe 2 games.
Okay.
And I just like OKC's rhythm. When they go 3 guards, they haven't played them. SGA, CP3, and Dennis Schroeder too much, only because Schroeder hasn't been here. He just got to the bubble and only played 1 game because he was, I think his wife had a baby. So you get that lineup, those 3 guards. I mean, you got 3 coaches on the floor basically. CP3, the ultimate floor general, and he has a chip on his shoulder. He has a chip on his shoulder going into this series. So, you got playoff Rondo. Same thing with CP3. He's going to average, I think, 23 and 9 in this series, 23 and 10, and he's going to demand the ball. They're going to pick and roll. I know the one thing that Houston does is they're smaller, so they're going to be able to switch everything, but they're going to find that mismatch, and then I think they're going to pound it inside. I think you still got Steven Adams. You got some big wings, and they kind of play the same way as Houston, where they spread you out with those 3 guards. So it's 2 teams that play the same style. I'm just not sold on Houston with the limited Russell Westbrook. You're going to have to get 50 from James Harden, and he could do it. But it's a lot harder for him to get 50 than the three guards give you 15, 20, 20. That's a lot
Okay.
more feasible. But
But
yeah, I got Thunder and 7. Thunder and
okay.
7. I want to go out on a limb and say 6, but I'm gonna go ahead and just go with 7.
So two things just to bounce off that. Chris Paul just shows you how good he is and how valuable he is to a team. Russ wasn't doing this, not even with Paul George. He has no one near that. And, he took them to a 5 seed. Russ lost like 4-1 with Paul George against like Utah at home. They were 4 seeds. So
And you got the
shout
coach of the year, Billy Donovan.
for the
Billy
Gator,
D.
yes, sir. So we'll see what happens with that.
In a contract year, surprisingly. Both sides agree. They did not renew him or extend it, so he's in a contract year.
So he could be making some money. By the way, if Russ is out 2 games, if Harden steals 1, they're in trouble. I think if OKC needs to win those first 2 with Russ out, yes, Harden might do it by himself and go for 60, and that would take a lot, of energy. Anyways, we'll have to see what happens. Before we move to the next series, I want to shout out the fashion guy, Adrian Sosa, right here. He got the Nike hat. He thinks he's flexing with the Nike shirt right there. Talk about that, Sosa. You did it on purpose or what?
Nah, it's just
Light drip, little drip.
Nah, it's just checks over stripes. That's all.
Okay. I got stripes over checks, but anyways. All right, we're moving on. We got the Clippers. We got the Mavs, 2 versus 7. I'm pretty sure I'm going in order of the bracket, but we'll see. I'm not looking at it right now. Simple for me. I think I call the Mavs making the playoffs this year. Great duo, young duo, going to be good for years if they, build off this team and not put it to waste. I think they're a little inexperienced in terms of being in the playoffs. Doncic or Porzingis have not made it. They don't have any playoff experience at all, but I like the team. They got Seth Curry, they got Tim Hardaway Jr., plus the duo. I just think the Clippers are too much. You got Kawhi who's coming off a finals MVP. You got Paul George who's just a bucket, 30 a game, 25 a game. You got Lou Will. You got Trez Harrell. I'm pretty sure these guys are back, by the way. They haven't been playing in the bubble or in the seeding games. But, you got too much. And I think the Mavs could steal 1 just because how special Luka is. But I got Clippers in 5.
Man, I'm with you. I got Clippers in 5. I'm leaning towards saying Clippers in 6, but they just got too much firepower. I do think this is going to be a very competitive 5 games. I think when you go back and look at this series, you're going to see single-digit games. 1 or 2 possessions will change the course of each game. And I like the Mavericks. You got Luka.
I do.
Kind of being like the LeBron facilitator role. And then they got a lot of wings, like you said, you got Tim Hardaway Jr., you got what's the guy from the Florida Gators?
Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dorian Finney-Smith. You see Michael Kidd-Gilchrist got a little playing time lately, so they're just going with these athletic wings. Try to get a defensive stop.
They got Boban too, 7'3". I'm just saying,
Yeah, I mean he's a little slow for this series.
Maybe a little taller. I'm not even sure. 7'6" or something.
He's a little slow for this series, but it'll be a competitive 5.
Yeah. About that, you were saying like these teams are going to win in 5, but like in my opinion, that means that the Mavs have to win 1 of the first 3 games because just like we said, Lakers in 6. If Lakers go up 3-1, I think they win in 5. Obviously if it's 2-2, then they can only win in 6. Same with this series. If the Clippers somehow go up 3-0, I don't see them. I think they're just going to close it out. They're veteran. They know they got to move on, get that rest. But if it's 2-1, obviously then they'll win in 5. But you get what I'm saying. Like if they have an opportunity to close it out, I don't think if they're up 3-0, they're just Mavs are going to slip in and get 1. They have to get 1 of the first 2 or 3 games, or maybe just shock them game 1. Moving on, we got the 3 versus the 6. Who was the 3? Let me think. Oh, okay, Denver versus Utah. Denver's a 3, Utah's a 6. This is just an even matchup, like straight up is even. Like I feel like these are the most 2 even teams you could possibly get in the NBA. Literally, like if you were to match up the teams, like Jokic, Gobert, you got Mitchell, Jamal Murray, and then you got role players. You got Gary Harris for Denver, For Utah, you got Mike Conley. Just an overall, even matchup. And like this is the series. It's going 7, 1,000% most likely. And you just got to pick one. And I think because of Denver losing in 7 last year against the Blazers, and they also went to 7 in the first series as a 2 seed against the Spurs. I think that they're going to close it out. And I just don't see – the Jazz just don't impress me. I think they have trouble scoring. And, I wouldn't be shocked if they won, but I think Denver, healthy. They got – big piece I just missed. Michael Porter Jr. been balling in the bubble. I think it's enough to get over the Jazz. I mean, they could even win in 6, like I said, but I think 7.
I got Denver in 6.
Okay.
This is a boring series. I'll be honest. I probably
Facts. Most boring series.
I probably won't even watch this series. Another thing you got to remember, Mike Conley Jr. just left the bubble.
Oh, he's a junior now or no?
He left the bubble because his wife is pregnant. So
he did?
Yeah. I didn't know that. He just left today, actually. So he's going to be out for a couple of games. So I lean towards Denver in 6.
I know we're going back a series, but for the Clippers, I forgot to ask you. Do you know who's in? Because I know you've been following it a little bit. The team specific of who's been in and out of the bubble.
They're ready to
Do you know if they're in? Harrell, all of them. Lou Will, Pat Bev.
Yeah,
Zubac.
Lou Will, Pat Bev, everyone. They're ready to go. Trez came back a while ago. He put out on Twitter he's back in the bubble and he's ready to go. So, they should be at full strength.
Time to move on then. Okay, let's move to the East. This is where the bias comes in. Heat, Bucks. So far, just to go through it, we only had 2 upsets with the 5 seed winning for SOS in both. We didn't have any 6, 7, or 8 winning. I had 1 upset, but it's not really even an upset. This is the only possible upset. Yes, I'm a Heat fan, but I'm just going to be real. We're not good enough to beat the Bucks. They're too good. Giannis is too good. We need another actual superstar. I know we're talking about getting Victor Oladipo. That's not a superstar. He'll give you 15 to 20 a game. I don't think he's enough to get us over the hump. We need to get an actual bucket. We need a Bradley Beal. We need a Booker. We need a Giannis. We need someone to get us to that championship level. Maybe Booker and Beal. But, Giannis would be enough. We need a top 3 player to get there. But anyways, sidetrack for a second. I'm going to go Bucks in 6. I think we steal. I think it's 2-2, honestly. I think we win 2 of the first 4. We lock up defensively for us, hit our threes, and we'll be fine. But we can't afford to have dumb mistakes. None has to be playing well. Hero, first ever playoffs for them, and Duncan Robinson. I think if the Bucks go up 3-2 though, I'd be shocked if we 4-7. I think it'd be very interesting and be crazy if we upset them. But at the end of the day, you got to go Bucks in 6. It's that simple. They're just Giannis. I don't even like the Bucks. Giannis is too good. But you got Middleton, George Hill. I'm not sure Bledsoe's still playing if he's injured or whatever. But just too much. Both Lopez brothers.
I got Bucks in 5. I think it's going to be competitive. Heat will, they'll fight and they'll make it as competitive as they can. But I just think at the end of the day, Milwaukee's too good. They got the best player. It's going to be a mismatch nightmare trying to guard him. And I got Bucks in 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't even be shocked if we got swept, to be honest with you. They're good. They're just that good. I don't like the Heat fans. Oh, we're winning. Yeah. No, just be real. Bucks are better. Just stop. Like when we had LeBron, let the other fans say Pacers are beating us. When they had Lance and Paul George. No, you knew we were winning. Just stop. Like the Bucks are beating us. That's simple. Moving on, you got for me, or we both had the same for this one. Raptors versus Celtics. This is my team. If there's one guy that I'm looking forward to watching that's not a superstar right now, I'm talking about like Lillard, LeBron, AD, Jason Tatum, my guy. I think he shows who he is during this series. I know he's already, certified bucket, but, I think he really shows out, takes this Celtics team, beats the defending champs, the Raptors, even though everyone's like, oh, they're a dark horse, they could get back. Nah, they're done right here. They got scorers, Kemba, Hayward, Brown. They got veteran Enes Kanter. He's been in the playoffs multiple times. I got Celtics in 7. It's that simple. I just don't think Lowry and Siakam get it done. It just shows you, just real quick, so before you go, the value, right? LeBron leaves his team. What happens? Cavs, worst team in the league. Leaves the Heat, don't make the playoffs. Kawhi leaves the team. Raptors still a 2 seed. Might have even won more games this year than they did last year with him on the team. That just shows you how valuable LeBron is compared to these guys like Kawhi and other guys that just leave the team. And the team's the exact same thing. They didn't even add anyone. Literally not one player. So you go, Sos.
All right. Man, this is a toss-up. It could go either way. It's a 50-50. I think it's going 7 no matter what. I'm leaning towards Boston in 7. The one variable that we have to keep into consideration at some point.
Facts. I know what you're going to say.
Gordon Hayward's leaving the bubble. His wife is pregnant. She's expecting a kid soon. So at some point, he's going to leave. And depending on how long he's gone, how long he has to quarantine when he comes back, he can easily miss 3-4 games.
But all right,
with that being said, I got Boston in 7. I think Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, I think they got long, big wings that are just going to be too much for the small backcourt. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, and those guys. It's just great run. I think they show that they're more than just Kawhi last year, but I think they fall short.
Yeah. I think they made the protocol to get back in the bubble quicker. Like you said, it's a baby. He might be out longer than we expect. Plus, there's no traveling, so it's not going to be 3 days in between games.
Yeah,
one day, next game, every other day, during the whole day. So if you got stuff going on, 1 o'clock, Heat play, I'm pretty sure 4 o'clock. So or the latest game's 9. Normally it was like 10:30. But moving on to the West, Lake Show. I'm gonna go first because it's different than you. Lake Show versus Rockets for me. I got Lakers in 5 or so. You want to go 5? I'm going to go Lakers in 5. I think they just show out. I think they're just too big for them at the end of the day. Harden will have his one game in Westbrook where they go for so much, but LeBron doesn't need to do that. And it's going to save so much energy on that team. I mean, he could go for 25. AD could go for 30. And then J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters, if Rondo's back, you got who else they got? Danny Green, Kuzma. They will combine for what Harden and Russ are doing. So I just think they're too big, and I got Lakers in 5. I wouldn't be surprised at 6 either, but I got 5.
Well, I picked OKC to upset the Rockets. So, Lakers versus Thunder. I got Lakers in 6.
4.
4. You know what? I just think typical Lakers.
No, I'm saying 4. I got Lakers. If they're playing Thunder.
No, it's going to be 6. They're just going to give up a game, not show up to play.
That's definite.
Typical LA. And then secondly, I think with the 3 guards, they're going to run pick and roll, McGee, AD, Howard to death, get the mismatch and just attack those guys. Chris Paul, he's going to get to that 15-foot mid-range, little fadeaway. He's going to make it interesting. Lakers are just way too much for them.
Schroeder's back too, right?
Yeah. So they got to – you know what? I'm going to go Lakers in 5.
Okay.
I got Lakers
so you switched up.
Yeah, over to Thunder.
Okay. Then last one for the second round, we got Clippers, and I'm pretty sure you had Nuggets too. Yeah, so Clippers, Nuggets. I got Clippers. I would not be surprised if they sweep them. I mean, they don't. I just could see that easily happening. But I'm gonna go Clippers 5 or 6. Obviously, they're like the Lakers. They'll slip up a game or 2 as well. I'm gonna go Clippers in 5. I think they'll give up 1, and I think they're just too good. I don't think the Nuggets have enough. It's that simple.
I'm with you. Clippers in 5. Just the players they have, Pat Bev, you got like Trez, Lou Will, Joe Kim coming off the bench just to give minutes, like the Morris twin. Like those guys, they just have a different mentality. I don't really see them coming out here and wasting games. I got Clippers in 5. Yeah, they're dogs. They got that mentality. Clippers in 5.
Okay. Bucks, Celtics on one side, Lakers, Clippers on the other. I wish the Celtics win. Honestly, I really wish they win this series. I just don't think they can. I don't even love Giannis. I don't like him, but somehow he'll win. And I think the Bucks win it in 6. To be honest, I just don't think the Celtics have enough to guard them. It's not. There's no explanation. Bucks in 6.
I agree. Bucks in 6. To me, there's no team in the East that really matches up well with the Bucks, other than a fully healthy 76ers in my opinion. So
I agree with that
with
100%.
with the Lopez twins, both of them now being able to hit threes, I think they're going to spread the floor, and they're going to. I mean, Boston doesn't really have bigs as it is, but that just allows more room for Giannis. And I mean, they're going to try to muscle him with like a Marcus Smart, get underneath him, but they don't have nobody to contain him. And once he drives and draws two, he has shooters all around him. So I got Bucks and 6. Would not be surprised if Bucks 1 and 5.
Or 7 for me. But yeah, Sixers. They if we're healthy, they Richardson, Al Horford, and Embiid. I mean, that's big, good defensive players to throw at them. Would be interesting. Easy run for the Bucks. Easy run. Easy.
Agreed.
Compared to LeBron's runs. I mean, he's had to go through some tough teams and other teams. Like the Raptors went through the Sixers last year with Butler, and then they went through the Bucks last year. Just easy money for them. I mean, there's no debate for me. I'd be shocked if anyone else wins. Lakers, Clippers. Lakers in 7. I just think it goes 7. I can't tell you they're going to give up this game. They're going to give up that game. I just think the Lakers, Clippers, battle of LA. LeBron gets it done. I don't think Kawhi has enough. He's a little overrated from last year. Beat a beat up Warriors team, and I'm a LeBron fan. I think he knows I'm doing it for Kobe this year. Rip Kobe. Shout out to 24. I think he gets it done in 7.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, if you ask me, what do I want to happen or what do I think is going to happen? Obviously, I'm a Laker fan. I want to say Lakers in 7. If I had to put my money on it, I would say the Clippers. But I can't go against my Lake show. I got Lakers in 7.
Go. I'll let you while you're talking.
If the Clippers beat them, I see them beating them in like 6, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't think the Lakers have the ability to beat them in a shorter series. They have to go 7.
I agree.
To beat them. It's at the end of the day, the Clippers, they're built for this. They're built to beat a LeBron-led team. They got big wings. They got a lot of wings. 3-and-D, two-way guys.
Shamit, Lou Will, Pat Bev. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean they got guys. And if you got their 4-man could step out and hit threes. Jermichael Green, guys like that, like it's crazy. What they did in the free agent market and the buyouts, and they're built for 6. But I can't go against the Lake show. I got Lakers in 7.
To mention real quick about that point before we go to the finals, Siakam was that guy for Kawhi last year. You guarantee are going to have that with Paul George. You put him giving up 25 most likely every game, which is what Kawhi needs, and Lou Will. They got scoring, and I agree. If it does go 7, how is LeBron's not losing in 7? He's not losing. Game 7, he's winning that. He'll go for 50. It's that simple.
I'll tell you this. It'll be very interesting to see how the Lakers play them because they have to hit shots. Like, the Clippers are going to pack it in. They're going to make LeBron a shooter. And I don't think you'll see Kawhi guarding him most of the game. I don't think you'll see Paul George guarding him most of the game. The Clippers like to switch. So they're going to mix it up. They might put Pat Bev on him, 94 feet, turn him a couple of times. As soon as LeBron calls for a high ball screen, they switch and put some of those guys on him. Obviously, late game situations, clutch moments, they're going to put Kawhi on him. But I wouldn't look to see that personal matchup, Kawhi versus LeBron. I don't think that's not what the Clippers are built. They're not built for one player. They're a true team.
Because we have to go in a second. Just quick answer: Clippers, if they did beat the Lakers, I know we didn't pick that. Do they beat the Bucks or no? I say yes in 7.
I think the Bucks are underrated in the sense that a lot of people, I mean, yeah, they're the favorite in the East for sure. I think people automatically are saying whoever wins the West is going to win the championship. Clippers
They're gonna have fresh legs though.
I mean, the Clippers and the Lakers, that's going to be a grueling series, whether it goes 6 or 7. I do agree, Milwaukee, they will have the rest on their side. But to answer your question, I'm going with whoever wins the West. Whoever wins the West, they're beating the Bucks. Well, we'll get into that first. Go ahead, So you got the
Okay, so finals,
Lakers and the
Lakers,
Bucks.
Bucks. I saw this matchup last year in LA, Staples Center. Um, this is my thing. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to go too deep into the series. I think the Lakers are just the better team. I don't think the Bucks are that good. I keep saying that. Look, Giannis is inexperienced. Middleton is their second best player compared to Anthony Davis. Plus, on top of that, you have Danny Green, who's two-time Finals champ. You got Rondo, who's been there. You got JaVale McGee, who was just there. I mean, Dwight Howard, who beat or lost to the Lakers. They just have too much. How I see the series going, I can't tell you each game. I could tell you that the Lakers will somehow get up 3-2, and LeBron's closing it there. He will not allow it to go 7. I don't see LeBron getting down 3-2 because I think he knows he can't. I don't think he hasn't. If they're down 3-2, he has to win 2 straight. Probably go for a crazy 40, 50 like he did with Kyrie against the Warriors. I just don't see it, and I got Lakers in 6. Wins it for Kobe, wins it for Gigi, wins it for the city of LA that has not made the playoffs in 10-something years. And then LeBron gets it done. Finally, another ring. He's the GOAT. And discussion's over. What you got?
I'm in agreement with you. Only difference is I got Lakers in 7. I think the Bucks, they play team basketball. They move it around. They got guys who can shoot. They're going to spread out the Lakers. McGee and Howard is going to be a tough series for them, guarding those guys out on the perimeter. At the end of the day, I think you can put LeBron on Giannis. You can also put AD on him as well. He's good enough to slide his feet, keep him in front, give ground, and contest with the high hand. So obviously you want Giannis to settle for jump shots. So you back up, stay on the ground. I got Lakers in 7. It's going to be a tough series.
Okay.
But I got Lakers in 7. If somehow the Lakers don't win against the Clippers beating the Bucks in 6. But I don't even want to think about what ifs.
Lakers winning.
I got Lakers.
I'll be shocked. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to be – because every time LeBron's made it the past 3 years, we knew he wasn't beating the Warriors. And the times he did, he lost them in 15 because of injuries, and in 16 he beat them. Every year I think he's going to win in 14, 13, 12, 11. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he doesn't win. So it's last thing, 2 questions for you. Just give a quick answer. Number 1, who's going to be the upset team? If an upset happens, I know you didn't pick one. Who will it be? And who's the surprise superstar? Doesn't need to be a Damian Lillard, just a star that shows out during these playoffs.
I think the favorites for the most part are going to win. I would say the one upset is, if you want to call it an upset, it's a 4-5 series. So it was the OKC beating the Rockets. That's my one upset. I think it's a top-heavy league. I think the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, Boston, the Raptors, I think those teams are head and shoulders better than everybody else. I don't want to say head and shoulders, but they're the clear favorite. So okay. I don't think we'll see too many surprises. If I had to pick one player who's just going to surprise us.
While you're thinking, my guy is Tatum. I know it's not a surprise, but I think he shows out more than he's been doing now. And my surprise team, that it's not even a surprise, maybe the Jazz win or the Thunder. That's really all I could see happening in terms of an upset, even though it's not really an upset. But it kind of sucks while you're thinking Celtics, we talked about this last video about wasting teams. The Celtics have had a good team for 5 years. They can't get over the hump to the finals. Every year they're making it to the East, and they can't get over. And this is how it's going to be, because now the Nets will be the next team next year with KD. And the Bucks have y'all. They're never making it. But you go. Who's your player?
Man, if I had to pick a surprise player, I think the stars are going to be the stars. LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Giannis, Tatum. I think he's ready. A couple years ago when Kyrie was out and they took the Cavs to 7 games, that was kind of his coming out party.
Who? Wait.
Jason Tatum at that stage a few years ago.
You're talking. I thought you were talking about Cavs Warriors when they won.
No, 3. Yeah.
You're talking about Celtics Cavs. My bad.
Celtics Cavs. Yeah. When he dunked on LeBron, gave him a little chest bump. If I had to choose one guy, it's very difficult. I do think, just going back to CP3. The ball's gonna be in his hands. So if it's in his hands, he's going to put up some big time numbers, especially against the Rockets. He has that chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove.
Okay. So that's really it for right now. We're in 1 second. We're gonna have our media manager in. But before I know you touched on LeBron. I just want to say one thing before we let the media manager in. He had, injuries caused him in 2015 when Kyrie and Love were out. They could have beaten the Warriors, but he messed up against Dallas in 2011. So we'll get in on another video. They'll go debate LeBron Jordan. But right now, our media manager, Max, is coming in. I got 2 questions for him before we wrap up this video. Max, let me know when you're in.
Yo, what's up, guys?
All right. So I got
up,
2
Max?
questions real quick, Max. Number 1, how many games will the Bucks or Heat win for that series? 'Cause I know you're a Heat fan. Who you got?
For which series? For if
Heat Bucks. Heat Bucks.
Heat Bucks. So personally, since the Heat have won against the Bucks several times this season, we've got that experience. I think the game, honestly, this might be my bias, but I think it'll go into 6 games, and the Bucks will win that series. Sadly, only because I think Giannis. I mean, we blew that insane lead against that one of the seeding games from earlier, and I was watching that game just yelling at the TV from my own home, and it was pretty disappointing. And I think that's a common trend amongst the Heat, which is blowing those leads. So
Okay.
I feel like we'll do that with the Bucks at least once during that series,
Okay.
and the Bucks will win that one.
And then who do you have in the finals? And how many games will whatever team you have win?
So for the finals, I think it's obvious from the beginning. I think I have since I think I have the Lakers beating the Clippers. For the West, I think the Lakers will be in the finals representing the West, and I think the Bucks will. The Raptors, they had a chance for a good bit in my mind, at least because of how good they were during the seeding games. But I think it'll ultimately be the Bucks going up against the Lakers, and I think that'll be also a 6-game series with the Lakers winning it all, giving LeBron
like it, man.
another
I like it.
championship.
Yeah, man.
Only because I think
You said Lakers in 6 against the Bucks, right?
yeah, Lakers in 6.
So
And
you're
it's,
rocking
I think it's only because, and I don't hate either team. I think Giannis is great for the Bucks, but with the bench that Lakers have, and with the leadership from LeBron, AD, and I don't know if Rondo's coming back or not for the Lakers, but they do have
them.
yeah, and they do have a pretty good core and starting lineup versus. I mean, they got, the Bucks have Giannis, they have Eric Bledsoe, okay from the 3. They have Chris Middleton, who can pretty wet from the 3, but I think their main concern would just be like guarding LeBron, because you have that matchup with LeBron and Giannis. That's a decent matchup right there. I don't know what the series is if they've ever faced each other in the regular season, but I think the Lakers won that game, but for now, I have the Lakers winning it 4-2. So
This man Max said wet from 3. You just call him
oh my God, you know what I mean, dude. Freaking Chris Middleton, man. I've seen him
Max,
play
you're
against
going
the
for
Heat.
3s, bro. You're only going for 3s.
What do you mean?
Like, why are you selling for 3s? Like,
because I've seen Chris Middleton take some shots that I've
no, you don't even know what I'm
seen.
talking about, Max. Max, I'm talking about girls. But anyway, all right.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So final touches on the video. No more questions. I'm just gonna wrap it up. Point of the matter is, I think the Bucks are not the favorite to win the finals, no matter who gets out of the West. I don't think it's much of an upset if the Clippers do beat the Lakers in people's eyes, and me, Max, and Sosa's eyes. It is a pretty big upset. I think LeBron has to win this year. It's big for him. And then Lakers do beat the Bucks. If anything other result happens between Bucks, Clippers, any of them winning, it's just going to be a letdown year for me, for LeBron to have to go through a whole nother season and win. But that's going to be it for this video. Again, my Instagram, Logan Collins223, and the Instagram for our account is Quik Talk Sports. Sosa, drop yours real quick.
Adrian Sosa 10, and I'm interested in coming back in a couple months, in about a month, and revisiting this conversation
After round 1 or 2.
Yeah, coming back, and then when the whole thing is over, and when LeBron gets a championship with his 3rd franchise, that's a whole nother conversation. That's GOAT status. That we'll have a good little conversation.
Yes, sir. Max, drop your tag real quick.
My Instagram is at Max_Internosha. Yeah.
This man Max. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching this video. Like I said, we feel like we can provide good information, not only on, our opinion, but on just the NBA in general, injuries, whatever it is, keep you updated. So please, it'd mean a lot to us to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Like I said, eventually we're going to grow this page. It's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It may take years, but, we appreciate the people that have been with us since the beginning, to help us grow. And we will see you on the next episode of Quik Talk Sports. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.